Tumbling over a cliff would be a damn sight safer than what you're proposing, and more useful too." John had turned away, discreetly steadying himself on the half-carved, half-wickerwork figurehead on the boat's stern. He was stripped to his boots, doeskin breeches, and singlet. Evening light gleamed on the round lenses of his spectacles as he dragged the boat nearer to the small furnace that had been burning for the past hour. The bandages on his chest and shoulder couldn't completely hide the bruised flesh. Under the bruises, the scars taken in an encounter with another dragon shone dark. Heavily loaded though it was, the boat moved easily. It was mounted on wheels wrought like the machinery in its midsection from the lightweight steels and alloys made by the gnomes. When the king's troops had arrived in the Winterlands 2 years ago, John had taken the occasion to ride to the gnomes' deep at Wildoon, having heard they needed a warrior to deal with a nest of cave grooves they'd disturbed in their digging. This machinery, made to John's specifications from designs he'd found in an ancient text of Heronax, had been his pay for 2 weeks of peril and horror in the dark. The year Adric was born, Jen and I were trapped by skelks and holed up for near 2 months in the Moonwood, he said to Muffle. Jen'll be all right, wherever she is, but I can't wait for her to return. It's 10 days that Ian's been gone. Ian'll be okay. Adric stepped close, a kind of bluff warrior's defiance in his stance. Mag toddled silently at his heels and began to examine the wicker boat with her usual careful intentness. The boy caught her hand and drew her back, having had plenty of experience with Mag's investigations. And Mamma can take care of any old crummy mage. Yeah, John grinned and tousled his son's hair. But it may take her a bit. He looked back at Muffle, eyes wary in his sweat-streaked face. There's something you're not telling me, Johnny. John raised his eyebrows, looking surprised. I'm not telling you to go take a long walk because none of this is your business, but that's 'cause you're me brother and bigger than me. John, you should be in bed. Aunt Jane, the oldest and stoutest of Lord Aver's 3 sisters, bustled down the broken stair from the courtyard above. Muffle, I'm surprised at you for letting him be up. The blacksmith began to protest that he wasn't his brother's nursey, but Aunt Jane went on. And mucking with all your heathen machinery when you should be resting. She frowned disapprovingly at John's telescope mounted on the rear gunwale. And bringing the children too. They'll end up as bad as you. Papa didn't bring us, Adric declared stoutly. We snuck. He stepped up to his father's side as though to defend him, still keeping a conscientious grip on his sister's hand. Honestly. Aunt Jane paused and looked the boat up and down, though none of the aunts had much interest in their nephew's scholarly and mechanistic pursuits. She turned away with a shrug the next moment, scolding as if the curious hybrid look of the thing had not struck her at all. Boat-shaped, but save for its bottom planking made of lacquered wicker, wheeled and mounted with a whole array of sails, yards, booms and masts, as well as its strange clockwork and wires, fan blades and springs. She did not seem to associate it with the framework of withes that stood above the furnace's stumpy chimney. Crates of folded silk lay open beside it, among long skeins of gnome-woven cable, steel rings and leather valves. "Now you come upstairs," she ordered. "Come on, gallivanting off all over the countryside when you should be resting." She reascended the stair, muttering, and Sergeant Muffle, with a worried glance back at John, picked up little Mag as if she'd been a single white poppy, and carried her after. As soon as they were out of sight, John sat down rather quickly on the pile of wood beside the furnace. "Are you okay?" Adric came over to him, like John, stripped to breeches, boots and singlet, hands folded over the hilt of the little sword that hung at his belt. It was only with difficulty that John persuaded him to take the weapon off when he went to bed. "Just send me down another dragon," said John cheerily. "I'll wring his neck for him like a chicken." Adric grinned and hoisted himself onto the wood pile at his father's side. "Are you going to go away and find Ian?" "I've got to, son." "Can I come with you? You're going to need help," added the boy, seeing his father draw breath for the inevitable refusal. "Even if you do take along all Mamma's poisons and your dragon-slaying machine, you've never tried it out against a real dragon, you know. I can use a sword." He patted his blade confidently.